Ready? Okay, it is August 4th, 2026. The time is 9 a.m. and we'll convene the meeting of the Seward County Board of Commissioners. The Open Meetings Act is posted on the walls if required and copies are available upon request. Please stand as we recite the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please make sure your phones are silenced, and Brandy, can you call the roll?
Sure.
Here.
Here. Which one of us is it?
I just turned mine on. Maybe.
Okay. Takes us to the item number 3, which is approving minutes of July 28th, 2026. If there are no changes, we'll take a motion.
Move to approve the minutes from July 28, 2026.
Second.
Please call the roll.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. That is 3-4, 1 absent, not voting to approve minutes of July 28th, 2026. Item number 4 is anyone from the public wish to speak? Yep, you can speak now. It's okay. Just come on up here for us. And can you turn on the microphone for us? Thank you.
It's techie, and I'm old.
No.
I have just one quick question for you this morning. We've got this big, new, beautiful flag pole out there. Who's in charge of the half staff on that?
Eric. So our buildings and grounds.
They missed 2 of them,
Okay.
Friday and Monday.
Okay.
And they missed the week before that. I called the clerk's office for the week of Lindsey Graham.
When you called, was it
I just called the
care of?
clerk's office.
But was it taken care of at that time?
After that, yeah, I didn't call Saturday or yesterday, but I just came to see if it's kind of important that the county is a leader in the community, that we observe
Yeah,
all those flag rules and regulations.
I'll talk to Garrick about that.
And if he needs the email so he gets all the there's a Flags for America that gives you all the half staff notices
Will you
across the
tell
country.
me what that email is, and I'll subscribe to it and make sure that we. Okay.
Because I'm at the VFW, that's kind of why I have it. I take care of
Is it like a list that you subscribe to?
Is it what?
You can subscribe to
Yeah.
the list, isn't it? Okay.
Yeah. Let me find it. It's half staff, HALFSTAFF at flag SEXpress. It's flagsexpress.com. So FLAGSEXPRESS.com.
Half staff at
Flags plural.
flagexpress.com.
Yeah.
Got it. Thank
And
you.
if he just subscribes to that email, he'll get every notice from all the states in the country. But I mean, that's because it's nationwide. So.
Thank you for bringing that to our attention.
Well, I just think it's important. So.
Agreed. Thank you.
Thank you for hearing me.
Anyone else from the public wish to speak? Sue, did you want to? Oh, okay, but you didn't want to speak as a member of the public right now. Okay, got it. Okay. Okay. Any other members of the public wish to speak? Okay. Any organizations? Any officials? Okay, we'll go to item number 5, which is commissioner reports. Scott, we'll start with you.
Pretty light week. Friday had a short meeting with Commissioner Amick concerning some budget stuff, and then drove roads, and I drove my district. I was in Milford, went down to Saline County, and then all the way to Butler County, and I can tell you that you can tell the difference in where the
Operators.
start and stop. And, and I understand this is a experience thing, but you can definitely tell a difference that where each one is at. And another thing is, around, when you get over North Pleasantdale and whatnot, and you get all those hills and everything, and it does make a difference there also. Because when we get a big rain, it washes material. And another thing is, anytime you have a huge spoils pile on the side of the road, it just seems like there's a lot of material that leaves the road and goes into the ditch. So just had a lot of roads cold, so it was out driving road. Yesterday morning we had a meeting with economic with emergency management and zoning, working through some issues there, and that's about all I have right now.
Thank you, Scott. I received a couple calls regarding the proposed regulations, just more process questions, like kind of where we're going from there. I did refer them to Marissa's office, so hopefully they called you and asked additional questions. Had a few HR related items that I worked with HR on. Also, as Scott mentioned, I met with the zoning administrator and emergency manager yesterday, just some coordination type things that we were figuring out. It must have been a week for roads because I received several calls from roads. I think I received 4 calls yesterday about road conditions. I was able to connect most everyone with Trevor, and I know Trevor was out there addressing those, so I do appreciate him stepping in John's absence. Um, the roads are not great right now. I would agree with you. The number of potholes in them is really the biggest thing that I'm noticing. That's a little bit different than usual. And I'm sure that that has something to do with the heavy moisture and then the periods of dry. It goes back and forth. So I know that they're looking at that. That I agree. It was a week for roads. And then lastly, I had a lot of budget related meetings again. It is that season. That's where a lot of my time is being spent. So that's it for me. Carol?
Okay, yesterday, our new public transit director started. Jalisha Gruen is now on board, and we started the process to install her in that role. I did have a budget, I'll say, teleconference with Scott on some budget things, and also had a zoning conference with Misty via phone. I did go into Lincoln yesterday. As you know, we've had the accident in Nashville, and there was a camera in that vehicle. It has been removed and shipped back here, and the NERMA office had it, and I went in and picked it up. After this meeting, I'll deliver it back to the public transit office, and when we replace the vehicle, hopefully we'll reinstall that camera. I did have a call from the attorney from NERMA on a litigation matter, just more of a this is where we're at type of meeting, and direction was given in the sense, or agreement was given as to how to proceed forward with that particular case. That's all I got.
Okay, thank you. All right, so that is it for commissioner reports. Item number 6, I think will take longer than 2 minutes, so we'll just need to take a quick minute and a half recess. Half staffed hours.
Hmm.
You can sign up for savings as well. So,
I'll let him know.
okay, ready? Okay, time is 9:10. We'll go to the 9:10 timed item, which is appointing our aging services program manager. Morning.
Hiring committee for the aging services program manager position. It was Reagan, myself, and Sarah. So we would like to, as the hiring committee, recommend the appointment for Alicia Fisher. She is anticipated to start August 10th, next Monday. The background check came back clear, but we do have the appointment is done pending drug test. She's going from out of state, and so she just was able to come officially this week. So making the appointment to
Do we make the appointment today or as of August 10th? Doesn't matter.
Effective date.
Just do the effective date. Okay, perfect. Okay. Any questions from anyone? Thank you, Daryl, and to Reagan for serving on that committee. And take a motion if you're ready.
I would move that we approve Alicia Fisher to be the new aging services program manager with her appointment to be effective on August the 10th, pending drug test results.
Okay, we have,
Second.
thank you. Please call the roll.
Rocky,
Yes.
Harris,
Yes.
Yes. That is 3-4, one absent not voting to appoint Alicia Fisher as the Aging Services Program Manager.
when she starts on Monday, I will have to hear on Monday or Tuesday, but
Sounds great. Thank you. Okay. We will take another 2-minute recess before our 9:15 next item. It's the Sioux Show. Okay. All right, it's 9:15. We will go to our 9:15 timed item, which is Aging Partners Annual Update and Request for Funding. You're welcome. Of course. Okay, good. Thank you, Sue. We appreciate your service. That.
My name is Jill Eagle, and I am
Okay. Okay.
First of all, I want to thank you for taking the test as programming manager. We had some absences there, here and there. And we hope that you're ready to move forward. Sounds like she comes with a lot of absences. Right now, between Indian partners, Seward County Commission, we're reaching about 90%. That are 65, 24% group with poverty. While our services aren't specifically directed at those poverty, many of the services that we are responding. One of the reasons why it's so vital is that we're on the back of the baby boomer curve, so the numbers in this upper age group are dramatically changing. And as people reach 85 years older, the services that they can even resources to support them increase. Last year, we served currently 150. In that, we're looking at a 10-year period where the residents of Seward County who are 65 and older will increase by 5%. So, again, that's why it's so important to have investment in Seward County, which is very important. If you look at the graphs below, 46% of the people that we serve in that age of 75 and 80. That's 240. You can see on the right graph, it's a projected population of 65 plus. So this last year, there were over 48,000 service providers. So that's at your throughput. That's quite a number of services. The area that's much more intense in terms of service for low income, so through our waiver program, through our this last year, we increased 181 hours of service for 25%. Those populations, say units, or excuse me, hours that we may authorize a person to receive, let's say, chore services, which is laundry, minor house food, those would be considered. So last year we had varying degrees of increases in senior centers, 21,000 difference in the senior centers by seniors. That's an increase of 75%. On the meal side, 50,000 meals were provided. And those are the expectations of those who are best based on the USDA nutrition requirements, which are dietitian receives the menus from the senior centers through those. Sometimes Overall, the meals and sewer have increased by 12.7%. Significant number of those. If it's 386 meals increase, or 27%. Many of those were Seward County, Seward sewers showed 2001 this year last with a 7%. I'm sorry, I mentioned earlier that those were home delivered. Case of Oxford was certified 45. So this support that we provided to the centers is very important. So I might mention that the services are provided in a variety of ways. Provided in the senior centers, of course, that's the more public community. But we also have professional caseworkers and dedicated labor service providers that are in the field, largely go into the home to provide individual casework. And give you an example of Medicaid waiver. Somebody who has what are called ADL deficiency. ADL stands for active daily living deficiency. So when you're either going into a nursing home, you would have the inability to help yourself create ADL would be like quality, clothing, bathing. So one of the state's program, which is contracted to provide, is that opposed to the person who leave their home to go to the nursing, we provide service coordination to pay providers to go into that. Theory is person one really living, we provide the services so it's safe to do that. But also then we don't have to go into the nursing. The cost of this state is significant. If Medicaid pays for nursing or nursing stay, you're looking somewhere between $8,000. Whereas we provide the service at home to save a tax dollar and to support the person. About $3,000. The last page shows our budget request. We're requesting a slight increase than what we had last year, that's the 45,775. Because of the position that we had, we did not have the local agent service that we provided. So that's the two. Aging partners, fund second call. You might ask the question, okay, why are we asking the county health funding program and also providing a check account to this subject? The reason it's structured that way is so that we can use county funds to match. But the return, of course, the county is great. Basically, the services provided that many of 5 years ago.
I have a question. So this doesn't mean I think this or don't think this. I just want to clarify. But as we're looking at funding requests, we need to know those that are statutorily required and those that are not. So let's say hypothetically, this is not going to happen. I want to say, like, let's say we don't allocate what the request is. Then does the fund commitment change, or how does that work? Just walk through that with us.
We haven't faced that in years and we have this stuff.
Okay.
45 is required.
Any other questions?
I do have a question. Can you define the units? You mentioned 48,539 units. What, I was a little confused on that. So it's a variety of measures. But when you look at the services that bottom, as well as senior centers, so as unit coming out of the senior center. Okay. Or it could be an hour tour service. So we're required by the state to work in sewer. They needed certified service provider. So it's not flat. Okay. I do have one other. I'm sorry. Also, the count on consumers. So 500. Catch that by kiosk system for your centers. That could be for person. One person over the course of the year. Thank you. I did actually. So as I'm getting older and looking at things that I didn't see when I was working, and looking at my children and where they're at, and even people that are younger, 30. Do you offer any type of educational services as far as going into high schools and telling kids how important it is to invest and save, so that, you know, maybe in the future we're not so heavily dependent on people not having enough money to make daily life living expenses and whatnot. We do provide some programs that education. So we'll provide some guidance on how to we'll provide legal workshops. We'll provide workshops. We don't reach the age level. And if that's important to citizens of sewer commissioners, that's something that aging service commission I would say, because we're not experts in that area, we connect with people in financial services. That it was really happens. I don't think you. I didn't think. Exactly. Yeah, life goes by very, very quickly. Particularly now where we pension, all right, thank you.
Any other questions? Okay. Thank you very much for coming. You made it. Of course. You were on time. That's fine. Okay. So we have 9:29. Our next timed item is until 9:45. Need a recess for.
You want to move into an executive
Yeah.
session? I'll move we go into executive session for what, zoning? Pending litigation. There we go.
Okay, do we have a second?
Second.
Please call the roll. Mr. Rocky?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, that's 3, 4, 1 absent, not voting to move into executive session at 9:30. to discuss pending litigation. We will come right back for our timed items. We're going to try to stay on schedule. So just so you know, it won't be long. And Marissa, you can join us. It'll be really quick because we're gonna
Move to come out of executive session.
Second.
Please call roll. Pataki?
Yes.
Garrett?
Yes.
Is 341 not voting to come out of executive session at 9:50 a.m. We'll go to our 9:45 time to item, sorry, for executive session where potential litigation is discussed and no decisions were made. Just wanna clarify. Go to our 9:45 time to item, which power in southeast quarter of section 49 of the township.
Move to go into public hearing.
Garrett?
Yes.
Pataki? Another power upgrade permit. They are going to be upgrading the equipment on the tower to there will be no change in height or any change in footprint on the one. Planning commission voted. This one is reasonable, right?
So it's a long.
Is there anyone here to speak for?
Second.
Pataki? Garrett?
Yes.
Permit to upgrade.
Is that the right one?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yep. Okay. The county commissioners, upon review of all necessary facts, the county commissioners make the following findings. Number one, review in all other respects conforming to the applicable regulations of the district.
Yes.
Yes.
These will have adequate water and sewer facilities.
Yes.
Yes.
This will be in harmony with the character of the area and the most appropriate resources to get.
Yes.
The establishment, maintenance, or operation of the conditional use will not be detrimental to or endanger the public health, safety, morale, comfort, or general welfare of the.
Yes.
Yes.
The conditional use will not be injured to the use and enjoyment of other property in the immediate vicinity for the purpose already permitted or substantially diminish the impaired property values within the neighborhood.
Yes.
Yes.
The establishment of conditional use will not impede the normal and orderly development of the surrounding property or uses permitted in the district.
Yes.
Yes.
Adequate utilities, access roads, and drainage facilities have been or are provided.
Yes.
The adequate measures have been or will be taken to provide ingress and egress for the design and minimize traffic congestion and public.
Yes.
This does not include noise and service decibels due to volume, frequency, and deepness of the other controls.
Yes.
Yes.
The use does not involve any pollution of the air by fly ash, dust, vapors, or other substances which are harmful to health, animals, vegetation, or other properties, or which can cause soiliness and or vegetation.
Yes.
The use does not involve any malodorous gas or method which is dependable on continuous running water.
Yes.
Yes.
The use does not involve any direct reflective or reflective glare, which is visible from any adjoining property or from public street, road, or highway.
Yes.
Yes.
The use does not involve any activity facilitating the movement of traffic on public streets unless procedures are consistent to limit traffic hazards and
Yes.
The use does not involve any activity substantially increasing the burden on any public utility or facilities unless present or made for any necessary adjustment.
Yes.
Yes.
All right. If there are any conditions, you can always use it to document on any one.
Correct. No.
Move to approve resolution 3941, conditional use permit to upgrade, modify equipment to existing wireless tower in southeast quarter of section 20, township 9, north range 4, east of 6 p.m.
Second.
Yes.
Rafi?
Yes.
Yes. That is 341 absent not voting for 339. Right, we'll move to our next agenda item, and our next agenda item is a public hearing for conditional use permit to upgrade and modify equipment to existing tower at top of quarter section 18, township 11 north range 1.
Will we open public hearing?
Second.
Rafi?
Yes.
Eric?
Yes.
Yes, that is 341 absent not voting to open the public hearing. On this upgrade, we're removing existing cable, dishes, associated tower and ground equipment, placing new antennas in tower ground equipment. Negotiation height or footprint of the tower, we will be removing. Is there anyone here that would for? Okay, anyone again?
Move to close public hearing.
Second.
Eric?
Yes.
Rafi?
Yes.
Okay. 341 absent not voting to close public hearing at 9:57. Go to resolution 3942, which is conditional use permit to upgrade and modify equipment to state wireless tower, the southwest quarter of section 18, township 11 north range 1 east of the 6. Upon review of all necessary facts, but on the measures made in binding. Number 1, the use and all other respects to the applicable regulations of district commercial.
Yes.
Yes.
Use will have adequate water and sewer facilities.
Yes.
Yes.
Use will be in harmony with the character of the area and the most appropriate use of the land.
Yes.
Yes.
The establishment, maintenance, or operation of the conditional use will not be detrimental to or endanger the public health, safety, and comfort, or general welfare of the person.
Yes.
Yes.
The conditional use will not interest in the use and enjoyment of other property in the immediate vicinity or to prevent owners limited nor to safely diminish their property values.
Yes.
Yes.
The establishment of conditional use will not impede the normal and orderly development of the surrounding property or uses permitted in the district.
Yes.
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 Adequate utilities, roads, and drainage facilities have been or are being provided.
Yes.
The adequate measures have been or will be taken to provide ingress and egress for design that minimize traffic congestion in the public street.
Yes.
Yes.
Use does not include noise, which is objectionable to the volume, frequency, or use unless lawful or otherwise controlled.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Sorry.
Okay.
The use does not involve any pollution of the air by fly ash, dust, vapors, or other substance which is harmful to health, animals, vegetation, or other property, or which may cause soil and discomfort or irritation.
Yes.
Yes.
The use does not involve any smell, odorous gas, or matter which is discernible on any adjoining wall or property.
Yes.
Yes.
The use does not involve any direct or reflected glare which is visible from any adjoining property or from any public street, road, or highway.
Yes.
Yes.
The use does not involve any activity to greatly increase the movement of traffic on public streets among procedures or indicated to limit traffic hazards and congestion.
Yes.
Yes.
The use does not involve any activity substantially increasing the burden on any public utilities or facilities unless provisions are made for any necessary adjustment.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, takes us to conditions. Permit is issued to applicant only and is not transferable.
Correct.
Agreed.
Anything else?
No.
Then we need a motion for 3942.
I'll move that we approve resolution 3942, a conditional use permit to upgrade or modify equipment to an existing wireless tower in southwest quarter of section 18, township 11 north, range 1 east of the 6 p.m., which also includes the additional condition that the permit is not transferable. Yeah, what's the other part of that?
That's it.
That's it. Okay.
Okay. We have a second? Okay, please call the roll.
Petrowski,
Yes.
Terry,
Yes.
Yes, that is 341. Absent not voting to approve resolution 3942. Thank you. Okay, we will go to our 10 a.m. timed item, which is hearing from John Moore with Spiros Environmental to discuss Seward County water study in partnership with Upper Big Blue and Lower Platte South NRD Resource District. Good morning, John. We're gonna have to, we help him move this forward. He's gonna want to plug in. We're gonna have to move this forward. You'll have to plug in right here. In theory, but on this end, it might not. So, fingers crossed. So while he's firing up, just a reminder that John came to a planning commission meeting 4 months ago, John? Is that right?
Something like that.
4 months ago. And had sort of discussed what he does and sort of some of the data that's out there. And I asked him to come and present to the board about a possible water study that would be in collaboration with just the county and the NRDs. The NRDs often have funding that they can come forward and match, and so we would be looking at sort of splitting that three-way. So John, go ahead and take over.
Yeah, John Warman, Environmental Sciences, project manager with Spiros Environmental, formerly known as Water. Matt, I've worked in Nebraska, home in Malcolm. This with the water meter academy. Information we had available in the area. So yes. So this is kind of a simplified version of presentation. That we had with the NRDs, the smaller group, kind of generally pointing out Seward County here is differentiated, portion being the third pipeline dock for 2/3 west side. That's how I'm just gonna split it up as I talk through it. The glaciated region, limited thickness, extents, and a lot of the low passes. Then that's the different, that was the one down south. And then on the western side of the county, that's the high pass level. Big project. So this project will go higher. So a few years back, LRE did several NRE-wide mapping studies on the Lower Putt South, and it included most of the groundwater conservation. And the blue line, the NRE boundary, the brown shows the groundwater. So I just want to show a few maps. All those dots that showed up were well that had good data. And they were put into their geographic locations that allowed us to provide great maps. And this is all publicly available data. So here's an example of one of the maps that very term saturated is very important. So I have 100%, but only 5 foot. The other thing I need to point out is our study with sand gravel is generally above that level. So we would have to do a little counting for it. So for example, this map brighter colors show large areas saturated thickness. Here's another example, transit city, that's how well the water moves through the mountain. This is all the same as gravel, but better up, get by the world. Parts. There. So at the cross section, what you're looking at here is Lower Putt South and all those lines going across the water. Think of what kind of paint. I just wanted to provide it here. The top line is the surface elevation, the vertical line are well. The one on the far left, the gray on the bottom is bedrock, the yellow is gravel. So like on the far left side, people go into the bedrock and the hat, that's the screen well. So we're easily be able to differentiate where a well is gravel or that's really important. The colorful stuff on the bottom is airborne electromagnetic data, where the helicopter plastic, upper big blue, but not plastic. So if you see that color stops, that's with that said, that some of that is very clear. So to get to the proposed water impact study, we think of it as kind of what we've done for the NRP generative carryover. It wouldn't be everything there. It would be critical to help you identify where good water is. So we focus on the saturated bed, same thing with transit location, bedrock, well, there's a lot more. Cross sections areas. Your initial mapping, you can see area of no wells, that's probably area of groundwater, those data gaps, baffle. Something else that's really important, I pulled this hydrograph with this morning. Is what are the water levels where that dot just what they right up. This example just the hydrograph on the left out 2. I believe it was 5 foot. See that there is one there's several more you look at get an idea that there's a completion issue where the line is going down for like this situation. So we would again focus on the high capacity wells, western part of the capacity. get out all the information from both vendors. This map you're looking at is what we call a groundwater development system. Right there, very high. The lower part of that doesn't have a lot of not much like capacity. Well, so like we would make something similar to this down where, for example, so coming in and let's say we have power, great spot, but they never got water. But this is proactive. And they go, oh, this is a very good risk area. This risk map would be one of the most critical things. Or actually maybe one of the most and then other parts of the study, as I mentioned, different areas where there isn't data, more. Those are things to look at. This is probably the most important slide. So there's when any type of developer water proposal, certain thresholds, most requirements to a study. Kind of lower uncertainty areas, low risk areas, it can be as simple as desktop assessment. Just look at the web on. And it could be something they give to you, so wow, 100%. Now, other areas may require test holes, so they'll drill down as part of it, the well will look at the same travel, flag, kind of map it out. And maybe they hit 4 feet, that they have confidence with kind of well. So other areas of test wells would be where you pump the well, and then their water level around it, get the optimal parameter, and you estimate the effect. And then down the list is probably to a point where you're looking over any type of study. But on the other hand, the county, the city could have tools that ensure that happens first before development working. So that would be an optimal pumping test, analytical model. That's a more basic model that just shows drawdown. Numerical flow model shows drawdown in the year as well, and how it fluctuates throughout the year based on farming. We would give recommendations in areas of higher risk and what you want to expect. We review the groundwater conservation districts, item background. Marvin. So specifically the groundwater conservation district has been there for decades. Step back, how effective change that area based on new data. And again, that risk. They're probably earlier. Right thing before they invest. And then just to kind of summarize the report, we have all the data we utilize, all the several maps, how the map is created. We always summarize the findings, provide recommendations for policy or findings, and then again that guidance for potential studies that would be done. To kind of sum it up the way I thought about it, guidance document, sustainable water, and have work and well, that's very
Thank you, John. Scott, do you have any additional questions? I know we've seen this once before, and you've been a part of this. Thank you.
So John, how long would this process take to build this study?
I can't remember what I put down last time. 6 weeks.
I think that's what you said.
I didn't read it.
And then can you, just for, I know it's not up here, but just so that Daryl can hear, we talked about two different types of studies. When we had the conversation with the NRDs, we talked about two different types of studies, and Scott and I both agreed we wouldn't even go for the sort of minor study. We would do the top tier. Can you remind us what that would look like?
Yeah, I think we.
Mhm. And that's more of like a higher
That would be the more robust.
kind of what you outlined there.
Yeah.
The end. Yes.
Yeah, I switched this there. It's the best way to think of it is we defend standpoint. And also, on certain things, that way, like boundaries. we have to have, the most of that time is system. A lot of math, a lot of checking. And then there'd be several.
So I think, right now with all of the potential development and the questions around data centers, I think this is a perfect opportunity for us to look at what water resources we have. You made a really good point. They're like, we have roads, we have electric, we have this, that they never really think about water, I think, until the end. And so as we're thinking about potential development, if it's data centers today, who knows what 5 years or 10 years from now it might be, it'll be something completely different. I think we're looking at this would be a county thing, so it would be outside of cities and villages. We would not do anything inside the cities or the village. But for villages, I see some village people here. I think it would go right up to it, so it might be helpful in some of their decision making as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And we've done this type of thing. In those situations, the fraction of the top compared to the fresh, so that's
Mhm.
this data can be available.
So I think what we need is some direction, because I think the next steps would be we would need to go to the boards of the NRD, or both Lower Platte South and Upper Big Blue, and basically make the same presentation, and then figure out what that split looks like for roughly $100,000, and then of course where we would pay for it from. So, any questions from you?
Just curious as to where we get the money for this.
So we did discuss that. I think we do have tribal funds. We have exactly 100,000
Okay.
that was dedicated to technology. So that is what we allocated it to. We also have inheritance. I know the Upper Big Blue and Lower Platte South are budgeting right now too. And so, okay. Okay. Yeah. And Marie is Upper Big Blue.
Yeah.
Okay, got it. Yep. Okay. So we just need some direction at this point from the board to basically proceed with engaging with both of them and their boards.
I think it'd be a good investment to do a countywide study, because right now we're going off of information that was provided in the 70s for the Water Conservation District. So I think just like I had a 1972 Chevelle, and I drive a 2022 Toyota Highlander, the technology is far superior over what it was in 1972 with an AM rating. So I think it would be beneficial to the county to actually have updated data where it concerns water usage, developments, and the like.
One of the interesting conversations we had, and this just popped up, was as somebody, obviously I came at this from the data center or conversations, but you bring up a good point about the development, especially in the water conservation. But John, you had mentioned where potentially with this resource we could give this to potential development or to a potential home builder to show, but there are recommendations you could make to the regulations, and you were talking about one of them at one point in time, like a test that would prove that there would be no drawdown from, say, neighbors, or
Yeah,
that there is
that's-
actually water.
That's the model.
Okay. So essentially, like the builder or the landowner would be able to engage in something like that.
Yeah, so for larger wells, like for an employment question, they will show the amount of drawdown and make sure how that would affect them. That's what analytical model. Those would be kind of step by step approach. Very large. For the homeowners, desktop assessment, like those would be a mile where the main issue with part of the county is necessarily the state
Mhm.
so I sort of will stop pretty great water for water. That's not the job. Fine. For me. Or
Mhm. He had mentioned that he was consulting.
he would get part.
Wow. Okay. He's great.
So to answer your question, no matter where if it's below fast well, where he got significant things, but I fast well, just help on our need, put something together. We just completed the desktop assessment for the small development in Congress County. Here, our section shows that they just left. So again, prime example of that's
Thank you. I've had other counties reach out and ask about this and ask kind of what our process will be. And so hopefully I'm just throwing them your way. Sorry, John, because you're the guy to explain. But I think that there's interest in this, and I think other NRDs across the state would be interested in this as well, and it would help counties with zoning and development in general. So I'm not going to say specifically to residents or specifically to a development or corporation, but I do think it's necessary. We're just in a weird spot.
working on this still.
Where are you at?
Let's go for it. I'm in.
Okay, so if we can move forward with the scope, then I
Okay.
think that would be helpful. And then let us know what we need to do as far as getting in front of the NRDs. I'm sure Scott and I would be willing to go and assist with that. Anything else from the board?
I do have one more question. So as far as like test wells, this study would be installing test wells
No, this study would provide policy recommendations
based on
if you're in this area of higher energy, board and
That could be as part of like a permit process, essentially.
it's
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, there are people that build and then drill.
Yeah.
I hear a lot of order our low down. So if you're in the area, kind of revert. More protection of the best.
Anything else? Thank you so much.
All
John.
right.
Thank you, Joe.
It is 10:25 and we'll just take a 5-minute recess till our 10:30 time. Okay, the time is 10:31 and we will reconvene the meeting. We're gonna circle back. Sorry, Roxy, I'm gonna kick you out for a second. We're gonna circle back to our item number 4, which is anyone from the public wish to speak. So there is someone here that wants to speak, and you'll just need to come forward and state your name for the record.
Yeah, John.
Hi, my name is John Grant. My wife is Grant.
You're yeah, you kind of have to put it up to your.
The two things I should talk about both involve the same thing. Road. The reason I'm here to talk to you guys is because we have one farm on 1781 Shelby Road. The road was in disastrous condition. It's better now, but it's still a long way. The problem is, I talked to Mr. Ryan in charge. Nothing gets done. I talked to you guys, and you guys go and look at the road. All the time. Okay. Now, our road. The last guy that was in charge of the road created a mini ditch on the outside. They were never there before. I believe that is to keep the rock and the gravel from going on. Okay? Now, it's good and bad. That works. If you guys look, that works on flat road. It only creates an avenue for water if it's not on hilly roads. An example of this, go to the Garland Highway, get on Shelby Road, and drive east to the south. Nothing but serious erosion on the side of the road where they put that group. Okay? So it works where it's flat, but where it's hilly, this gives the water erosion, and that's what it's doing. Okay, the second thing, and I understand, I've talked to you about this, that you've got a lot of new operators. Mr. Reiner is not talking to this. And here's why. 2 years ago, I was doing work north of Garland for Peg Food and Cat, right? I was coming back down that road towards Garland. There was an operator coming at me with like, I'm pulling a truck with equipment and a trailer with equipment. This guy is an older guy. I don't know who he is, but you know what he did? I think he stopped his machine and he took the blade into the top of my blade. So I could safely drive by. You know, and it took him a second. And they put the blade out and on he went on out. Okay? Yesterday I'm going down and I understand that liner is not hard. There was they were working on Waverly yesterday, and there was a pile straight down the middle. I'm hauling machine here 1781 over to Waverly Road. This is a double 9 bolt. Okay? And that groove is right down the middle. I'm coming right down on this side, and he is right down on this side. And this operator has got this thing on, and he's pushing material right into me. And there's a creek on my side. Okay, I can't get over it. He misses my machine by this much with the blade and just drives the machine right now. Okay, my tweet. Reiner isn't talking to us about this book. Pretty soon it's going to be a purpose. There's going to be machinery and trucks. And they ought to be aware of the possibility to get this be a lot safer than what they're doing. And I understand if we're designing something we're supposed to stay away from. I'm pulling the camera from one farm to the other. I can't get off Waverly. I gotta get on Waverly Road to get into my farm, our farm. Okay? So, and I called, I did call, and I talked. But I think the response is going to be just like the last time I talked to him. See, because when I talked to him about Shelby Road and what everything that needed to be done on it, nothing got done until I called and talked to him. So that's just what what I want you guys. And I appreciate the fact that those guys are out there and they're trying to get their work done. But I was trying to get my work done too. And I think I'm one of the people that employ.
John, so just so you know, you mentioned that our highway superintendent is not speaking to the operators. So we do have a lot of new operators, and all of those operators, thanks to a grant from the state, recently went through motor grader operator training. So it's like a
Right.
week-long program, and it's very, very detailed. So
No,
although
no,
they're
I
new,
understand,
they're not the
but-
old pros, we could say, but they do receive training. And I just want to clarify that they receive training.
Right, but Reiner's not talking to these guys about how to react. Okay, a year ago I was pulling a machine across highway from a loaded trailer with hay bales across Highway 34 onto 187. Okay, number one, once you get across the highway from where Jinko Lock Line is, that's a terrible point, right? There was an operator down there who's been there. Okay? He will do the exact same thing that Kid did yesterday. So Reiner needs to sit down with these guys and say, hey, look, you got people coming down the road with machinery, give them a break. Pull the blade out of the way so they can get off. Don't just keep going down. And obviously he's not. So anyway, that's
Okay.
or somebody who talked to these guys that wouldn't continue to happen all the time. And I know you got new guys with this. A year ago, this wasn't the guy. So, anyway, okay.
Well, I appreciate what you're saying, John. One thing I want to point out is the county doesn't know about the road conditions unless people tell us. You know, like
Absolutely.
when they're washing out on the side, I see it on my road too. I know exactly what you're talking about. But unless we call in and let, you know, talk to Heidi and say, hey, McKelvey Road is in bad shape right now. John and Trevor, they're not going to know anything about it because they're not out looking, you know, especially after 3-inch rain that we had that time.
Well, here's the reality. There's hills all over the county.
Mhm.
And so that erosion is going on all over the county.
It is, but we're working on getting,
You know what I mean?
we're working on pulling shoulders on the roads so that we can eliminate that issue. Basically what we're doing is coming in, letting the water get to the ditch. And so it's a process that we're working on right now.
Well, I see that on the hell. Let's see how that works.
Well, I don't think that's quite there yet. And I know exactly what you're talking about on that lip. Yeah.
But,
They're working on it.
yeah, and I understand that the superintendent before Reiner did this. He's the guy that made this. And it works on flat ground.
Mhm.
I'd say fill the ditch, just fill those roots in on fill ground. And go back to the way it was because there was an erosion before they made that cut. It's a problem.
I appreciate you coming here today and expressing.
You guys have a nice day.
All right, thanks, John.
Thank you, John. Okay. We will, nobody else from the public wishes to speak at this time, right? Any other, okay, officials, organizations? Okay. So we'll go to our 10:30 timed item, which is our Allo phone billing options. There's a couple pieces of this. So Roxy, you start, and then I can help with the last part.
So, yeah, there's been conversation, currently, the Allo bill is sent to the mayor, ground, and individual, separate. And so, that gives me some separate and all that. And so we spoke with Allo, we had talked about potentially, having to breaking it down and see what that was like. So Missy and I spoke with, Isaiah, our rep, want to,
Yeah, probably.
just regarding options of what that looks like. We did express that it is an annual process to enter in an invoice, but however we change this format moving forward, that's what we're doing. And so we looked back at the original, back in 2024, to see how it was broken down and was by department, and then within the phone number. He said it was signed via phone number, not department.
It is. Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
So basically, what she's saying is, if we were to go this, sorry, Eric, I'm gonna bring you into this. Eric stopped me and was like, I have 25 bills I have to open every month. And that is crazy. It is. That's very time consuming for him. And the reason that we asked for this in 2024 to begin with was with the intention of moving the phone bills back into the departments. It's already a budgeted line. And so it just never happened. Last year we were like, meh, but we didn't really sympathize with the fact that Eric had 25 bills to open, except he said it. And I'm like, oh, this is the perfect time to do it. So we've already sort of made the decision to put them into each of the budgets. And so we've let everybody know that, and we're taking some things out of the budgets. But there is, and I've looked at the bill, and I've sort of come up with an average. And so we have the amounts, but there are a couple things that we'll have to decide. But before we do that, I think there is another issue with the allophones, with the, what is it called, the carouseling, the answering. Yes.
Yeah. So, the clerk's office, but, the clerk's office is, you would Google the main return phone number. Their phone number, 280. And so the majority of, I think long ago Tracy actually tried. Tracy, yeah, and asked if we could somehow change it to where we could have, some counties have like, we can call Suffolk County for clerk press one, press two, that kind of thing. And, I think the issue is majority of clerk phone calls.
Mhm.
So that would take a lot of their time, and hassle and time. So I asked Allo, and it's $750 a month for one, tied to that line. We have about 15, department paying phone numbers. If I'm going out there, one is in the countywide, but we're going to try maybe per office first. And I don't know what that,
$90 for the year. Yeah.
$90 for the year, is that on my line, or is it on
I kind of think
budget?
it should just go into hers if it's her line, right?
Especially if you are looking at it down the road to charge each phone to each department. That would make sense.
I mean, whether it's in the line.
Yeah, but I feel like that would help your.
I think it would be very, very helpful because I would say, not exaggerating, probably 95% of our phone calls are for us. It's not going to entirely eliminate the issue, I don't think, because, you know, sometimes, and I just think that there's also just the confusion of county clerk and clerk of county clerk. That's always going to probably be an issue regardless, but certainly not just to, and sometimes people just call because they don't know what department. So I don't know, I know at one point, I think there was, someone was gonna see what other counties did, like to explain kind of for licenses and registrations, or I don't know.
I think it can say pretty much
I think
whatever
it
we
can
want.
say whatever you
Yeah, and so Sherry reached out to two different counties and with, questions about what they have. It's not every department, but it's still, you know, I'm color, I'm not gonna say, yeah, but it's kind of the same public office. And so I can work with you and kind of come up with like an example. If that were maybe what Tracy and Emily did before we go home and kind of go off that. Try it out.
So that's the first thing we would need to just approve the use of that. So it's $90 and it would be added into the phone line for Randy. You guys okay with that?
I'm for it.
Okay. Well, that would, I think I calculated at 10. No, you're right. That would only be $75.
Yeah, we started.
Okay, and then the other issue is that if we pull them out and we put them back into department budgets, there are a couple that really don't have anywhere to live. So, for example, the probation office, we are currently paying about $2,500 a year for their phones, and they do not have their own budget. So we would need to make a decision on that, so where that would go within the budget. And then the other one is the victim advocate. We're currently paying about $875 a year for their phones.
You
Why is
see
it so
victim-
different?
Well, I mean, I'll just give you an idea, just to throw it out there. So the treasurer, his bill for the year is 9,000, but that's because they put the internet for the whole county on the treasurer's bill. So it's not really, it's because that's just how it's put in the bill. The sheriff's department, they have 9,231 a year. County attorney, 6,893 a year. You know, emergency management, $300. Zoning, $800. But that's for the whole year. So that's their monthly charge for the whole year. We would, like you guys were both saying, we would start this in September. So we would leave the money in Eric's budget to cover July and August, and then we would do 10 months of it in the rest of the department's budgets. So my question and why this is on the agenda is, one, we got the auto attendant thing figured out, but two, we need to figure out what we're doing with victim advocate and probation. So what budgets those are going into. So that's my ask today.
Victim advocate, now, is that the same as with crisis?
Yes.
That kind of dovetails in the county attorney's office, doesn't it?
That's what my note is to include it in theirs, but
That's where I would push that one.
Okay.
As far as the probation, I don't know what we do with that. That's kind of, the state sticks us with that as an unfunded mandate almost, do they not?
we do not have to pay for their phones. We have to provide
We
a
have to
space.
provide them a space, and I don't know if we have to provide them with internet. We've always just allowed them when they were in this building. I mean, how are you gonna have an office in a building and tell them you can't get on our internet? So they've always just
Next door.
Mm-hmm.
when we were with Windstream, I don't know, we weren't here. It was a huge battle. It was just years worth of work and stress. It was a big battle. And we finally and the reason was because we went from having individual bills to parent bills. We were supposed to go to that anyway, where there was a bill for this building, a bill for the Justice Center, and a bill for the Western. And the Justice Center bill that way. We changed it. And during that change, the main account for each building was set up by someone. And probation became the parent line for the Justice Center. And it was a big undertaking to try to get that changed because at that time we didn't want to pay for their phone. And we finally got that switch. I thought, I don't know. Anyway, that was the Windstream ballot. So I don't know. It's only a couple of $1,000, but budget time is probably a good time to have that discussion.
I believe I believe they're fairly close.
Probation, to my way of thinking, dovetails in with district court on some level. Where do you get your probation people? They usually come out of sentencing, usually at the district court level. But if we were to push that phone into the district court, clerk of the district court, and I'm sure there will be pushback, but I'm just looking at how can we accommodate this?
County court would be
We pay for those. That's kind of a similar situation with county court. Yep.
We also pay for their supplies and stuff like that. But
Probation's a little bit different.
probation has nothing. I mean, other than
Why is probation's phone bill so much more than any other department?
They have a lot of phones. They do. They don't have like one or two. I think it's like 7 or 8 phones.
Really?
Yes.
I don't know if we,
Why
with
do
the, these are all landlines too. We don't pick up.
Yeah, they
any
have
of
like a
this.
front desk and then okay, maybe it's not 7, maybe it is 7. And then they have however many offices and then they have like a conference line with some features. So features are included in that too. So there's lines and then any features that those departments have said that they need. Okay, so we don't have to decide that today. It sounds like we need some further discussion on probation. So and you're their liaison, so maybe offline you have that discussion and then we can continue working on that. But just know we have to find a place to put that. So we'll put these amounts into the department budgets and then yours will include the auto attendant. We'll move victim advocate into county attorney. Sound good?
Didn't we used to have a fax line in probation? Had a problem paying for it.
I'm pretty sure that that's included in that.
Okay. I
Yeah.
didn't know if that was a separate issue or not.
And I'll confirm with Isaiah. I took more information from that he could not be in place like
He couldn't. Yeah.
and it's just organized from phone number.
Yep.
But first Eric first is organized by. So
Mhm.
I don't know for that.
I think he was saying he couldn't like once I think he was saying once we change it we can't go back. So I think that's what he was saying. He's like, okay, if you guys change this, then you're not going back. And I'm like, okay.
70 page.
Yeah.
that
It's pretty large.
manually
But then yours are you have the 25 separate. So kind of how we've described it, Eric, is that those will just go into their boxes individually. So then we'll go from there.
keep it as it.
Yes.
just don't the basic.
There that's okay, look at that.
That's fair. Are you okay with me opening the mail?
And they made out to the Stewart County, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
You have to go down to on most of them.
It's the page
just
there.
That page, that first page. 1 or 2 of them. Once you know what it says right there, though, I'll just.
Thanks, Brandy.
Person asked is like, okay, keep it as is, and somehow they put the department.
That's what I was gonna.
It is on there. It is. It's just on the it's not Seward County with that department. It's just on the page. It is very clear once you know what you're looking for. So you do have to pull it out of the envelope.
Happy to take care of that.
Okay, sounds
Point
good.
from above.
Any other questions on this?
No.
Perfect. Thank you, Roxy.
So, at the department.
Yeah, we've been as we're having budget meetings, we're letting them know that. Yep, because we're making some shifts. So then you guys will work to put the auto attendant on. You're the authorized user.
Get that going, and then,
Okay, sounds good. Thank you. Okay, let's go to our 10:45 timed item, which is authorizing the chair to sign a 1-year lease agreement with CAT Financial for the mini excavator.
I should say that I asked that John show up because the only thing that is on for signature is the Caterpillar Financial Service Corporation finance proposal. And I know that there's something about a finance proposal and something about a purchase agreement, which I think is included, but I don't understand how all that works, so I asked him to come in. If he could explain it, because it appears we're paying more than it's worth, but then there's a repurchase, so anyway, that's why I asked him to come, because he can explain it
Makes sense.
to all of us.
Yeah, this whole, they changed up how they previously did their leases. They did this years ago, went to a more simple form, when now Cat Financial wants them to go back to the process. Makes it so much more confusing because they're throwing in like the repurchase amounts, which has nothing to do with us. That's basically NMC or Cat purchasing it back from the dealer, not from us. Because it'll list off like on the very front page, it'll say like amount financed, which has nothing to do with us at all. That's just through NMC, through capital. On that second page, that's where it actually shows the payment amount for the lease, that the $72.50. Yes, it will show like the beginning balance of 55,
Right.
550. That's NMC purchase amount, our lease amount, and then it talks about the balloon payments and all that stuff. None of that figures into this. And then on page 3, where it has that purchasing agreement, this is basically the agreement of NMC that they have with CAT for them to purchase the machine back after the market.
My question is, why do we have to sign that? If it has nothing to do with us, why do we sign it?
The repurchase agreement?
Yeah.
No,
Okay,
that wasn't attached to the,
it's here, and
It's
it's asking, it says purchaser, so I'm like, no, we're not gonna sign that,
No,
because we'll,
that is not for us.
so I'm taking this out, we're not signing this. Okay, got it, I just want
that
to
was because I emailed Heidi and said, I don't understand this. And so she emailed them and they sent the repurchase agreement and said, I hope this explains it, but it doesn't.
because I'm like, this basically says we're agreeing to buy it.
Yeah, and like I said, they made it so much worse and more complicated.
Okay.
Than what it
Simplistically, we're still here with a straight lease agreement with CAT for this
For the
excavator.
7250, yes, for 250 hours.
Yeah, for 250 hours, where we were to go over that, it explains on
Yeah,
page 4 what the
yeah, as the price goes up, yeah.
So the balloon and the interest are not together.
Now that's one of those things, like if we were to lease it for that year and then we decided to buy it at the end of that, then that stuff would come into play.
I don't know, because right here, so on that first page, it's like finance proposal, it says payment structure asset, 1 annual payment of 72, and then it says stub payment.
That's a,
I'm nervous about that.
I know they used to do this. I was never a big fan of it. I thought that would be an open contract.
Yeah.
So I don't,
So I have 2 questions. One, is this something that you could talk to them directly about? I still want to make sure that we're leasing this, and I think you know that.
Yeah.
But I'm a little bit nervous because it's like, we're not going to sign this, but if we're signing this, it's looking like we're agreeing to that payment.
Yeah, and I walked out and I asked Heidi about that because on here it says number of payments, it says 2 people. The one payment is our lease payment. The second payment is the repurchase,
Yeah.
which I believe that's what you're seeing on that payment structure.
But exactly where you're talking about, payments, it says in advance too. So I'm reading this as they're wanting us to pay the full amount.
that's why the questions on it, I don't love it because it is titled finance proposal.
Yeah.
So I don't know whether we need some sort of agreement, another.
Or a supplement or something to attach to
So we
it.
need to go to John Deere at least from them.
Yeah, we weren't too happy when they said that they were going back.
if we pause a week just to give maybe Barb some time to think this through, is that okay?
Should be.
I just want to make
I
sure.
mean, they'll probably have to change, the days it's off.
Is that okay with the board?
That's fine by me.
Okay, let's just pause on this. 'Cause it makes me a little nervous. Not that I don't want to, I mean, obviously we need it.
No, just to get it for the, I am fine with
Okay.
it. It's, I mean, reading through it, and it's confusing.
Okay, so we'll just table that. Thank you, John. All right. So,
I mean, it does say on repurchase agreement, it does say on number one, it says subject to terms and conditions here in Nebraska Machinery Company agrees to repurchase the machine listed above at the end of the 12-month term.
but we're not signing the repurchaser agreement.
I understand that, but the lease is only for 12 months. Is that correct, John?
Yeah.
So I mean, to me, it says if you go over the 250 hours in the 12 months, you'll pay the additional $29 an hour or whatever stated in there. But right now, that to me, that says this is a 12-month agreement, and that I'm thinking NMC is going to repurchase this from CAT Financing.
That's what he said. That's what John said. But I think that my hesitation is that first page. Like we won't even sign the repurchaser agreement, but that first, not there, because we're not going to sign that at all.
Right.
But that first page, do you have that now where it says the payments and it has it listed down below? It would appear as though we're agreeing to make the $7,200 payment and then a $50,000 payment up front. Am I reading that wrong?
That's how I read it, and
Okay.
we have no control over this, so if they decide, nah, we're not gonna sign this purchase agreement, then I don't know what that is.
Good.
So, we're kind of in the middle between these two, and
Yeah. Okay. So let's just take a pause on it and we'll circle back.
Maybe Daryl's right. It's John Deere.
sometimes what can happen, I believe it happened once with a predatory agreement. And I think that's kind of what they agreed to purchase it and then lease it. So whether the machinery would purchase it and then lease it, that makes more sense than this.
All right, so we're going to table that. Our next timed item is budget officials, but we still have untimed item or budget hearings. So, but we still have untimed items, so we're going to circle back to those. So, item number 6 is resolution 3943, addressing circumstances surrounding building permit number 41-2026, County. This resolution was in the scan. It's pretty straightforward. We've been having some discussions over the last few weeks about this. I will turn it to you two for any discussion.
So this, we're gonna bring the applicants for this permit in the street.
We can, but we're discussing what the resolution is at this point. So, any discussion on what this resolution is?
Well, I guess we've discussed this in the past, but to me, what it comes down to is that what we're acknowledging, there was a mistake, an error made in the issuance of this permit. And rather than go through all of the various processes that we've discussed, I think that there's a consensus here that we move forward with a resolution that basically acknowledges the mistake and basically says that this is a one-time thing. We are not going to allow this to happen in the future. In other words, there will be no previous zoning administrators. He said, she said. It's going to be regulatory. We will apply regulation as written, and we're granting an exception in this case based on the resolution as written. That's my take on this.
Okay. So again, we're not to the point where we're going to vote on anything. But if there is, I know you guys are here, and I know you probably want to speak. So if you want to come forward, you can, and then just state your name for the record, and then you can have the floor. Okay. It is on. When John was going over there to make sure. Yeah. Diane, is that green light on? Okay, perfect. You're gonna have to move it really close to you for everyone to hear. Thank you.
If you've got an extra one, why don't you leave one right here for the commissioner?
Hey, hang on just a second.
I don't know if it's working. Oh, can you tap it? Tap it.
I think it is working. What number is it? Technology, yeah.
Sorry.
That was 8. I was trying to bring it back on. Yeah. It's just, batteries is not my favorite. Will you tap that?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Okay. I can hear that it's better.
Okay.
Okay. My name is Diane Rolfsmeyer. This is my husband, Nick Parch, and we reside at 2153 Rokeby Road, Melford, Nebraska. And what I've handed out is just a narrative. And I want to present this. Actually, I would like to read it.
Sure, go ahead.
Because what I never want to hear is any commissioner saying to each other, to their constituency, to me, or to themselves, if I had known the history. And I know there's been a lot of chatter of history, but there's not been a lot of documentation of that history. And so that's why I would like to present this. So, the concept was to build an aging in place home large enough to host family events and yet be able to shut down entire rooms when not in use for energy efficiency as we, my husband and I, move into a fixed income situation. It also is designed for end of life experiences for us. Straw bale construction allows us to manage extreme heat or cold safely in unused portions of the home without the energy costs associated with maintaining a large home. It is also built to be maintenance free with metal siding and roof. And just as an aside, I know there was a short discussion with aging partners about when do we start thinking of this stuff. I've actually been working on this plan for a little over 25 years. So, and I'm going to turn 75. So that means 50 seems to be the magic number, which I would agree is not soon enough, but that's just an aside. The goal was to cash flow the construction using proceeds from crops, so we expected and discussed with the county that this was a multi-year project. In 2011, we met with Dan Hansen, the zoning administrator of Seward County at the time, to discuss our concepts and to ask for his input. During the second meeting, Dan pulled out a blank piece of paper and laid out the fundamental requirements we were asking for in the form of a bird's eye sketch of our home, in a way that he indicated met the county zoning requirements, i.e., a home with a kitchen, a master suite, and guest rooms that were connected by a single roof line made possible with porch roofs. The other requirement was that the roofs needed to be the same height. We took his sketch to our architect, and the architect presented Dan with a full set of plans which included 3 sketches showing the completed project from different views laid out as Dan's sketch indicated. 3 additions under 1 roof line. Once approved by the legal authority on zoning from Seward County, we were issued the building permit in 2012 for the first phase. Dan understood that this project would be a multi-year endeavor and therefore a permit could not be granted for such a long build duration. That phase was completed in 2016. It consisted of an uninsulated two-stall garage, large family room dining area with a complete kitchen, a FEMA room. It was designed by FEMA. It's a tornado shelter, which also was a bathroom and laundry. This addition houses all the heat generating appliances, stove, dishwasher, washer, and dryer, so as to not compromise summer temperatures in our master suite. In 2018, we commenced on the second phase, the master suite. Our architect delivered a full set of plans with the same overview of the finished project to Seward County zoning. There was a new zoning administrator, Becky Paulson, who requested an after-hours meeting with her so she could look at all the plans and understand both straw bale construction, which is unique, I admit, and how the phases would work together. Becky, the legal authority on zoning in Seward County, issued a building permit for the second phase only because it was still a multi-year project and a permit could not be granted for such a long build duration. We have since learned that at the time, all building drawings were delivered to the assessor's office after the permit was obtained, and they have a 5-year retention policy. Seward County records only show a sketch of phase 2. The full set of plans, including the completed project sketch, has been destroyed. This addition does not have a complete kitchen or a laundry facilities. It is a 1-bedroom master suite with a master bath and a loft. We moved into the home on April 10th, 2025, when the master suite was completed enough for use. We used the first phase addition to store our furniture while the rest of the second phase was being finished. In 2026, we approached the county for the third time to finish this project, 3 guest rooms, which would include a sitting and snack area. This addition can also be completely shut down to avoid the expense of heating, cooling unused areas. We again presented a full set of plans with the entire project complete footprint and asked for a permit for the third addition, which would have been reviewed and approved twice in the past. After another meeting with the current zoning administrator, we received the permit for the final guest bedrooms. We can still produce all 3 sets of the plans, and they all have computer-generated date stamp that cannot be manipulated. Construction commenced immediately after the permit was granted. Currently, the foundations and some of the footings have been poured, the plumbing and electrical have been buried, and the straw has been purchased. I have to say there is a life to straw and its ability to be used in construction. All 3 areas of the home are dependent on the other areas. None of them are freestanding residences. Over the course of this multi-year build, the footprint has never changed. We are 2/3 into this project, which was reviewed and approved 2 previous times. A single permit from the entire project would have been in effect for 15 or more years. We took, in good faith, the review, guidance, and approval of the county for this build. And I just find it serendipitous that Aging Partners was here. Again, an aside. My husband and I have worked very hard to not be a burden on our family as we age and the state and federal government via Medicaid. I spent 4 years as the executive director of Seniors Foundation, so I worked with Aging Partners pretty closely. And it's devastating, the level of poverty in the age group 65 and older and how much money is spent for their care, even though in-home care through Aging Partners much cheaper than a nursing home. It's still a cost. And I was taken aback to find out that 25% of this age group in Seward County, 24% of this age group in Seward County is living in poverty. I think this is a cost government is going to have to look at for a while. I'm very proud that my husband and I will not be in that position. We have a very strong home health care policy, So we will be hiring people to care for us in this aging in place facility, 0 grade. We will not need to move anyplace else, provided we can complete the project. It does pose significant loss. The home as it stands does not serve those aging in place and end of life experiences that we have designed for ourselves. It does not fit that. So we would be in a really difficult position to make that work and could end up being a taxpayer burden after all. So that is really what I wanted to share. Thank you for allowing me to have this as part of the record. And I appreciate your consideration of this resolution, and we're hoping that you sign it today.
Thank you, Diane. I have a question. Just a point, and maybe it was just a word choice.
Could be.
In your third paragraph on your document that you read, you mentioned 3 additions. So when I hear addition, I think primary and then 3 additions. Is that 3 phases?
It's 3 phases.
Okay.
So if you're thinking,
So 3 total structures, meaning you would not intend to build, say, a 4th structure under this plan.
think of it as a series of rooms. So we now have the first phase was the kitchen.
Yeah, I understand that part. I just want to make sure that
There's
it's
not a
3
fourth.
phases. There's not a 4th. Okay,
This
that was all I. That's
this
all
footprint has never changed
Okay.
from the very first. So it's
If
3.
this resolution is approved and your building commences, you're done.
Yes,
There isn't any more additional buildings that will be done on this property,
not on the home.
on the
We-
home.
yeah,
I want to.
There's outbuildings that
Yeah,
potentially could happen.
outbuildings are a different thing.
Yeah.
So when we talk about outbuildings, what do you have planned for the outbuildings?
We just finished building a replacement metal barn
So
after the
storage.
windstorm. Yeah.
Okay.
And I have a dream.
Maybe a chicken coop.
No, I have a dream of greenhouse, but
But there will be no other dwelling-like spaces in any
No.
of those buildings, meaning no meeting spaces,
oh
no
no,
bedrooms.
this is a
No.
home.
Okay. I'm saying in the other outbuildings that you're discussing. There's no intention
Oh.
to have any additional dwelling spaces in
No.
any way. No office spaces, no
No.
nothing. These are like chicken coops or greenhouses and the things you were just talking about.
Correct.
Okay. We just want to make sure because what this resolution says is that additional dwelling spaces will not be
Right.
allowable. Okay. All right.
Is there any other clarification you need on this?
No, I
Okay.
appreciate this. I do appreciate this. I will say the zoning regulations today, I don't agree that this works within the current zoning regulations. That's neither here nor there. You had the plan. I appreciate you doing that plan for yourself. It's lovely to hear that story and to hear how you've been planning. When we look at the permits, although you have the plans and you had mentioned they were destroyed, what's included with the permits is just the plan for that building, right?
Correct.
And so that is why there's been conversation. It's just because of that, because we don't have the full set of plans with each permit. It's just the permit for the structure, or just the plans for the structure that's permitted.
We can provide those previous plans.
It's that's I'm just saying for records
Okay.
sake, for on our end, the county
Got it.
just has the plan for the building
I
that was
see what you're
permitted.
saying.
That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
So, I appreciate you coming forward and your comment. Does anybody else have anything? No? Okay. This resolution has been drafted. I do have to note that our county attorney has recommended that we just move forward with Board of Adjustment, which is an option, but this is also a second option should we choose to take it. So we know what the resolution says. That's the agenda item that we're on. So if somebody wants to make a motion, they can. And that would be resolution 3943.
3943.
I would like to make a action to approve resolution 3943, addresses circumstances surrounding building permit number 41-2026 issued by Seward County Government.
Second.
Okay, can we please call the roll?
Barrett,
Yes.
Sabrowski,
Yes.
Yes. 3, 4, 1 absent not voting to approve resolution 3943. Again, I just want to reiterate, no future building. And this is actually not allowable per regulation, but it is a mistake, and we are going to just allow it to go forward, documenting that it is a mistake. Okay. Thank you. Why does it
On you.
Why does it look like that on 2 pages? No, Barb, this is not. It didn't look like this when you sent it, right? It was 1 page.
It might be
No, it's 2 pages.
Okay. Okay. No, I sent it to you from Barb. Okay. So we'll move to our 11 o'clock timed item, which is budget meetings with officials. And we're going to start with the treasurer's office. Who's on his way? Who's on his way? Yeah. I did not mean to pick on you for your. I was actually trying to help. I just love it when I have like a booger or something in my teeth that nobody says it. Why fix it?
If you follow along, it's probably easier to understand too.
Okay, so send. Okay, I was just asking because it didn't look like a normal one. I'm not judging. I'm fine with whatever it looks like. I just want to make sure that it's. Yeah, that was where I was going with there, honestly. I just want to make sure we did not change it. Do you think what? Here you go. Yeah, I'm just giving it to you now because they've invoiced us and that's the send. That's for, we don't do the housing. So they ask us, but they don't do anything with housing in this county. So we've removed the housing funds and we just pay the membership. There's 2 separate funds. Or 2 separate funds. 69, it's like 7,000. No, they don't. They don't. Hey, do you know what you guys pay? Haley, do you know what you guys pay